Up next on the Sports Hit List.
I'm trying to see, is it a double standard with race or is it just a double standard with maybe celebrity?
I want to know if whatever Johnny Manziel did was on film, which there was a report that it is, why it isn't out yet.
So your race card.
Oh, the race card, I'm the only white guy in this panel, and I'm right in the middle.
It's easy to just throw the race card for whatever reason, but
Carl Coulange, Mike Phillips, Kenny Irby, Greg Polius, Anthony Mullen. We are the Sports Hit List by the fans for the fans, and today's topic is double standards in professional sports. Before we get to that, I have a quick congratulations to shout out here. Mike Phillips is going to be a dad, guys. Let's give him a round of applause, right? Excited? Nervous?
A little of everything. A little of everything. But
well, talk to the fathers on the panel sitting to your left.
Great. It's great. Nothing like it.
well, like you said, a happy girl, a happy home. You know,
That's
so
it.
gotta
That's
make
it.
sure it always goes down.
You just had your girl. Congratulations to
Thank
you,
you.
right?
Thank
And
you.
Kenny, you have two girls, right?
Yes.
So, any advice to Mike?
save your
I am
money.
having a baby.
Say what?
Save your money.
100%. 100%.
And also shout out to Mike Miller, who also just had one.
He just had a baby girl too, so
right.
jump in.
Congrats,
We
Mike.
miss you, Mike. You gotta come back to the
Got
show,
to,
man. We
boy.
miss you.
Yes,
There's a
sir.
table right here
Got
waiting
to.
for you. We waiting for you. But today we wanted to talk about double standards in professional sports. And Anthony, this was his topic. You wanted to bring it to the table, and can you explain to us what do you mean by double standards in professional sports, and what exactly are you talking about?
Well, my whole thing and what I've noticed pretty much since I've been following sports is that
2 weeks.
a lot of is that a lot of things, you know, that's good for some people aren't good for others, and I'm big on consistency. So
Okay.
I point these things out just so we stay consistent.
Now, did you want me to give the examples, or you want to give the examples?
I can start. It doesn't matter.
Please do.
Well,
Please. Enlighten
the
us.
most recent example I was having was, of course, the whole Cam, the way he was being treated compared to the way other guys were being treated.
In terms of what? How
In
he's
terms
treated?
of his character, they were trying to say he was a sore loser for not shaking. Well, he went to the press conference, answered questions, and because he left, he was a bad sportsman for that.
Okay.
Even though, nobody ever said anything. It actually had to be brought up into everybody's attention that Peyton Manning walked off the field when he lost to the Saints, I believe it was, and never shook Drew Brees' hand, anything like that. But of course, he did his press conference.
I
so
know,
guess that's okay.
I know. You also mentioned Manny Pacquiao too. I know Manny Pacquiao. He said some comments to the.
Yeah, he had some
he said
derogatory
some
things
terms.
to
Right.
say about
And
the
you said to
LGBT.
me, if it was African American, it would have been handled totally different. The way the media portrayed it. That's what you.
We'll
mentioned,
still be
correct?
talking about it today.
You'll still be talking about
That,
it.
at least in my opinion.
Okay, so
My opinion.
what you're saying in terms of double standards is that the media or in the sports world they treat African Americans differently than they do other races.
Yeah, like there's no room for mistakes with us. Like everything has to be, there has to be a lashing for everything we do.
Okay, Mike, your comments to that? Any?
I agree and I don't agree. I agree in the sense where there's certain individuals that are considered to be for the race card in the sense where the media will try to portray it as Peyton Manning, white man, Cam Newton, black man, go. That's how they portray it. They don't portray it as a guy at the end of his career, Cam Newton at the beginning of his career, both superstars, who's going to win. They don't bring it like that. Why? Because it doesn't sell. So you look at it, you look at it in the sense with Cam Newton, I don't think it's because of the skin color. I think it's how he portrayed himself on the field like a crybaby, falling on the ground, flailing, looking for calls, this and that. I think his play was what made him be looked upon as a bad guy for that game. Peyton Manning, yes, he walked off. That can be considered, Greg, you can also chime in on this as being an athlete. That could be brought up as a possible sportsmanship thing in the sense where you're into the game. You're upset.
The one thing I will say though before I get to it is that in terms of in terms of Cam's actions, people felt as if he was being, when he won the games, he was flaunting it, but he couldn't handle the pressure
prima donna.
when he lost.
But my thing is exactly, and he actually just hit the nail on the head with his statement he just made. You just made an excuse for why it was, I guess, deemed okay for Peyton Manning to look. It was just an incident for Peyton Manning, but with Cam, that's his character type of thing.
Well, what about Johnny Manziel? If you want to do a black-white thing, look at Johnny Manziel. Everybody treats him the way he is on the field, and the
I
way
wouldn't say that
Okay.
necessarily
I
mean
actually
it.
have- all right,
I
so-
actually
I'm sorry,
have some
go ahead,
thoughts
go
on Johnny Manziel. I want to know if whatever Johnny Manziel did was on film, which there was a report that it is, why it isn't out yet, and Ray Rice did what he did. His wife, they're still together, yet Ray Rice doesn't have a job. Johnny Manziel is still employed. Ray Rice was vilified. He's a woman beater. He's this and that. Now, I'm not advocating for what he did because there's no place for that.
You sure?
Don't do that. Don't do
Positive.
that. Okay, I would never. I don't believe in
we
that.
don't condone that.
Thank you, Mike. We don't. But as far as portrayal, from what the reports read, Johnny Manziel did just as bad, if not worse. But all of a sudden, it disappeared after a week.
Right.
You don't hear about it. There's still reports of Ray Rice dragging his wife through the elevator, and it just doesn't
Because
go
the
away.
media
Okay,
publicized.
right. So, but here's a quick point, and I know Mike, you mentioned this to me, and I'll ask Kenny. What about Tom Brady and Deflate? They went all over with that, and he's white. I mean, that was a big story. So wasn't that?
But that was blatant cheating, though. That wasn't.
But
like-
in terms of let's discuss
but
it.
then
though.
other people would say he didn't cheat
Right.
because it wasn't subsidized.
But that was
You know,
blown up
it
in the media, wasn't it?
blown
And
up.
he's white.
I think that has more to do with the Patriots themselves and the hate that they harbor as an organization, as opposed to Tom Brady himself.
Okay, so it had nothing to do. So you're saying the race didn't have anything to do with it?
Do you think if that was Cam Newton that was deflating balls, you think he would still have a job?
No.
They would have banned
So,
him.
you- but
See,
In my opinion.
I don't know.
See, I disagree. I don't think it was. Again, because of Tom Brady, I think it didn't matter because it was a story about what happened. And I do understand what you two are saying, but with Tom Brady, you can't say because of the Patriots because that story was like a year-long thing. Can you, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, can you chime in?
Before you go, what I think is the Patriots were so entrenched in this cheating thing for one thing or another that Roger Goodell felt he had to come down on something. Unfortunately, he chose the wrong thing to come down on because he didn't have substantial evidence to make a case.
What
You could
about
take
the other guy from the Philadelphia Eagles who said the N-word?
Riley Cooper?
Riley Cooper. Wasn't that blown up too? Wasn't for
No,
like
he
2
got
weeks?
sent home for a day, and then he came back,
And
and,
that was
then
blown up because it wasn't handled properly, because of his lack of.
Okay,
discipline.
Kenny hasn't had a chance to chime in. Let's give him the floor.
A couple points. One, it wasn't an excuse for Peyton Manning because it was a one-off thing. Cam Newton has a history of being a sore loser. Whether he's at the end of a bench by himself, he's sulking in the media. Since the day he got into the NFL to the Super Bowl, he has a long history of sulking. It's just that this year he won so much, the deodorant, winning is the ultimate deodorant, so nobody really remembered until the Super Bowl.
I like that. It smells good.
So that's the difference between Peyton Manning and Cam Newton. Johnny Manziel, they may be a tape, but it hasn't been released yet. Ray Rice's tape wasn't released until, what, 7 months?
Until
8 months?
TMZ paid like a whole
$10
lot.
million.
And
Right,
you don't
no,
think
but
TMZ
yeah,
has this tape yet?
but
If they don't, that's why it's not.
they were able to acquire the tape because the hotel went out of business. It's not like the hotel was still working. When it was functioning, they couldn't get the tape. And then when it went out of business, then, it was a fire sale. And then the security decided to make money out of that. So no, my point is, there are cases where there is a double standard. I think these are bad examples of those double standards.
Okay, here's one more. Here's the Ronda Rousey thing, and I know you mentioned that too. You posted about it, how she lost, and she was a talker too. We put her like she was cocky, she was arrogant, and she lost. Then she went on the Ellen DeGeneres show and said that she almost killed herself, right? So, and I know you were talking about how it wasn't fair that people are sad for her and all this, but
no, not that it wasn't fair, but that it's just convenient for her to come out as this sympathetic figure after she was just like how they said, like it wasn't consistent. Like you're very brash and cocky and things like that, which is, there's nothing wrong with that. I actually like it. And then you go from that to this sympathetic figure back to this cocky person because you trademark F them all. Like it's not. It
doesn't make sense.
No, no.
Your thoughts on the Ronda Rousey?
With the Ronda Rousey, it's one of those things where she was knocked down to reality. She
Yeah,
literally,
that
literally,
sounds
she
accurate.
was knocked down to reality. Where, again, I'm gonna keep reiterating this because this is how I see it. The media portrays certain athletes as superstars. A point I'll bring up in a second with Jameis Winston and Peyton Manning in college. With Ronda Rousey, she was publicized as this behemoth woman that no one could take out,
Who can beat
and then
men.
was knocked out.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, if anybody's been knocked down, whether white, black, red, yellow, green, you are going to be knocked to reality, and you're going to be shown that maybe I'm not that good, or maybe I shouldn't be that brass. Maybe that's how she was taking it. And people are sore losers. Yes, everybody's a sore loser. Now, going back to my other point, with Jameis Winston, who also had a rape case in college, the Tallahassee police brushed it under the rug and hid information. Peyton Manning, now all of a sudden his case is brought up. Why though? Because they were superstars for their college teams, and in those certain areas.
With the Peyton Manning issue, though, that people are saying is that they feel that the Mannings are a powerful family in the NFL.
They're called the first family.
They
They're-
are
so
because
that's
of
why
their
that was
style,
brushed
though.
underneath the
No,
the
because of their
table.
play style.
Peyton
It's
wasn't
not
even in the
necessarily.
NFL at the time the event happened.
No.
Correct.
But yes, he was a powerful figure, like his father's Archie Manning. He's a big figure in the South. He's
Especially
a
in
great quarterback
Tennessee.
for the New Orleans
Right.
quarterbacks and New Orleans Saints and stuff like that. So they're known. So of course his father got that brush under the rug. That's what it is. And there was no social media at the time, so it wouldn't be all over the place. So it's more of an indictment on the media now that they didn't bring it up with all this sexual.
But can't they be bringing it up now because it's at the tail end of his career? They're trying to keep him
I
No,
relevant.
there's a lawsuit out now.
And can I say one thing? Like the reason why I pose these questions, because I'm really asking the question. I'm trying to see, is it a double standard with race, or is it just a double standard with maybe celebrity? Because I also look at the fact Johnny Manziel, he was in he was in a car allegedly assaulting his ex-girlfriend. Then everybody on the roads calling the cops, so obviously it was serious.
Right.
He admits to drinking. Visibly, she was abused.
They needed a helicopter to search for him.
No, that was the second time. I'm still talking about the first incident.
And that's
when they
still
when they
under
gave
the
him
rug.
pretty much a police escort home.
And a
When
slap
to
on the
me, if
wrist.
that was a black person, he would have probably been shot.
Okay.
That's not true
To-
because
I want
that's not true because Allen Iverson, they gave him better fight. He was a home arrest and got to throw a party in Philly.
But that's what I mean. That's why I'm literally asking the question.
Okay, well,
Is
here's
it-
my last
yeah.
point, and another, you guys just love giving me segues. Parties. Gronk just had a party. Rob Gronkowski
The
had a
party
party.
cruise.
The party cruise. And it was discussed, okay, if that was Cam Newton having a party cruise,
it would be vilified.
It would be vilified.
100%.
Is that true or false?
Because Gronk, there was illegal, it was legal gambling, but by NFL rules, there shouldn't be gambling on that boat. Yet everyone knew it in the NFL, and it was okay to fly. Now
That's
it
not
could
true.
it could be the players themselves, not necessarily the race card. I'm not sure, but there
Who
would
throwing the race
definitely be
card?
a
Who be
difference.
throwing the
Well,
race
why
card?
was
Throwing your
the
race card.
Vikings?
Oh, the race card. I'm the only white guy in this panel, and I'm right in the middle talking about race card. And I'm still sitting up here.
the Vikings love boat. That was vilified. LaShawn McCoy's little thing
What
just
about
because
Greg
he was.
Hardy?
All right, let me stop all this right here.
Okay, here we go. Okay.
The
Okay.
Vikings love boat. There was illegal stuff going on.
Right.
People being attacked, raped. There was crimes going on in the boat.
It's solicited
Grunt
sex
stuff-
not illegal?
Gronk stuff. And in comparison to that, and as far as race car, Tony Romo had an event in Las Vegas with the Venetian where he's doing the fantasy football thing, and the NFL shut that down, in which he's currently suing them.
That was
because of
I
that.
was going to segue into that, but I didn't
So that's what I'm saying. So it's easy to just throw the race card for whatever reason,
It's-
but it's not always the race card because there
Correct.
are
Yes.
examples.
There are
of-
examples.
What was highly glossed over was the fact that Gronk offered $10,000 for a couple to have sex on stage. Is that or is that not soliciting sex?
It's not.
How is it not?
It's voyeuristic. He's not participating.
It doesn't matter. So if
It
I
does
buy,
matter.
no, it is
It does
because
matter.
if I go to a prostitute for him, just pretty much hypothetically
I just
speaking.
want my wife to know this.
Yeah, totally hypothetically. Actually, you know what? I'm sorry, especially because they're all mad. If somebody else solicits sex from a prostitute for me, is that not still
Was she a
soliciting sex?
prostitute, or is he talking to a couple to have sex potentially?
If
know
regardless
what
of
the
regard, let's go to the
It sounds
definition.
more like a-
Let's go to the
We get off topic.
definition.
We talk about prostitution.
If
we
I-
talk about sports.
If I
These
give you
sports hitters-
money,
listen,
if
man.
I give you
Oh, man.
money for that service, that is soliciting sex. That is prostitution.
No.
So
No.
yes,
It's not.
yes, it is.
Soliciting sex is how much can I get paid for yada yada yada? How much do I have to pay? And then they give it to you. That's soliciting sex.
No, he
They're,
said
they're not giving it to him. And
He's
plus,
putting
I
on
think
a
they-
show. It's
He's-
a burlesque
he's
show.
trained for it.
plus,
No, it's a
if
burlesque
it's
show.
on a boat
Okay.
and it's a show. One,
Yeah.
Two, if they're on a boat in international waters, American laws don't apply to whatever is going on. So I don't think you guys are bringing that. Into
But
account as well.
isn't that what they were saying about the Vikings?
The
that,
Vikings was in Minnesota Bay? That's not international waters.
So you saying this boat didn't leave from the U.S.
Okay, on that note, thank you guys for another interesting topic here on the Sports Hit List. We are by the fans and for the fans. Definitely check us out. If you can't, just Google us and you'll find us. We're all over the place.
Tell us what they think.
Right, definitely. Please do that. Please leave your comments. Are greatly appreciated. We'll see you next time.